To heal from psychological trauma, you have to change the narrative it upholds. You have to challenge the ever-convincing stories or beliefs it tries to convince you are irrevocably true. And in order to do this, you first need to fully understand that every single negative belief that your traumatized mind tries to convince you is true is actually not. Not a single one. In order to change this seductive victim mentality narrative that your trauma generates in your mind, you have to argue it into submission. And you do this by proving it wrong. And how do you prove it wrong? With evidence. Step into the inner courtroom of your mind. You are the defendant, and your inner critic, or negative core beliefs, is the prosecutor. And who are you defending? Yourself. Not the wounded self generated by the victim story of your trauma, but your true self, the essence of who you are, before life conditioned you to be otherwise. And what are you defending? You're defending the universal truths of life itself. And what are these universal truths? Great question. And the answers to which we'll dive into in today's episode. What is true versus what is false about life and about the things said by the voice in your head? Let's start with the typical arguments that your inner critic brings to the inner courtroom of your mind. Here are some of the most common examples. I'm a bad person because of this and this and this. I will never change because of this and this. I am a failure for this reason and that reason. I am not fill in the blank enough, smart enough, good looking enough, desirable enough, funny enough, skilled enough. You get the picture. Another one, I can't rely on anyone. I have to do life on my own. My independence is my strength. And my old favorite, this world and my life are completely fucked. There is literally nothing worth living for. I'm sure you can think of a lot more examples than that, but you get the gist of it. So, what are the themes that shine through these examples? Let's take a look. They all exemplify certainty thinking. The narrative is 100% certain. That's it. It's the truth. It's absolute. I am definitely a bad person for these reasons, period. There is nothing to live for these reasons, period. Theme 2. They are all black and white statements. It's either this way or that way. I'm good or I'm bad. I'm enough or I'm not enough. Theme 3. They all assume there is no evidence to the contrary. Each narrative is simply correct. There is no gray area. So perhaps as we analyze these narratives, you're already getting a sense of the universal truths that I alluded to earlier that you're defending in the inner courtroom of your mind. Either way, here are a few of them. Notice as I describe them how they overlap and blend into each other. Universal truth, example number 1. Nothing is certain, so get over yourself. In other words, you don't have it all figured out. You do not have the one and only answer to everything. Your perspective now is not guaranteed to be your perspective tomorrow. You don't actually know if you can't change no matter how many times you failed to. You don't actually know if it's too late. You don't actually know if you'll never find love again. And you don't actually know if you won't succeed. You simply don't know. That's the truth. That's your argument in your inner courtroom using this universal law. Universal law, example number 2. Nothing is black and white. There is no such thing as the exact moment you're born and the exact moment you die, for example. Just pause and think about that for a moment. Are you born when you take your first breath? Are you born the exact second you come out of the womb? Are you born when your dad's sperm and your mom's egg join? When are you born exactly? There's also no such thing as a completely good day or a completely bad day. Everything's on a spectrum. Absolutely everything. So every time you catch a black and white statement coming from your monkey mind, such as, I'm a failure, I can't do it, I will always be alone, I'm a loser, just cancel it out with the simple truth, which has no counter-argument, that absolutely nothing in this universe is completely black or completely white. Before I carry on, if you love good energy exchange and are finding this valuable, please consider taking a moment to like this episode. If you like my stuff, subscribe to this channel and share with your loved ones if you think this would connect with them too. Engagement is a real form of love in the video, podcast, YouTube world, and it makes a way bigger difference than you may know for content creators like us. Thank you. Universal law number 3. You are a dynamic being, not a stagnant thing. You cannot be permanently labeled, categorized, or put in a box. We are infinite, malleable light beings that do not exist in persistent constraint. Period. You're not the labels you give yourself. Just let that sink in. And the last law I'm going to tell you about today, because there's more, but we'll stick with this one, is universal law number 4. You're not alone and you require connection. In order to thrive, you must have allies. Independence is not the strength Western society tries to brainwash you into believing. Simple. So, beating trauma is ultimately about rewiring your mind, changing your inner narrative. So defend your inner child and the truth. Stand in your defense. Present the evidence with these universal laws that what your victim story tries to tell you is based on lies. Win the inner court battle of your life and finally begin to thrive. Thank you for tuning in. My name's Seamus. To prosper in these times, we need the power that brings us there. The aim of this content is to do just that. Empower you to thrive through living in purpose. If you feel my words have benefited you in any way, please consider liking, subscribing, and even sharing this episode with someone in your network. Life's riches come to those who serve others. Also note, I work as a psychospiritual mentor or guide for young men and women facing the many challenges of the journey of awakening in this crazy world. If you could use the help of an experienced guide and ally out of the labyrinth of this earth matrix you find yourself in, book a free Q&A call via the link in the description. And if you're interested in joining one of my mentorship and support circles, check out that link in the description as well. May you fully integrate what you've received here, and may you carry it forward on your journey toward true freedom. Blessings of the highest order to you, my friend. Until next time.